My glamour girl, girl, girl. Give me just a minute, yep, just a minute. Wait, let me tell you this. Would you wait a minute? I've never seen a girl like you before. Over on the edge, but still you glow. Yep, yep, but still you glow. Whenever in the room, you still the show. I see no one else but you, yeah. My glamour girl, you're worth more than gold. I think you should know. The spotlight's on you, my glamour girl.
What's up, my loves? It's me, the goddess SS, and I am back. I am back with another video. Now, this video is a little bit more serious, hence the setup here. I wanted to talk about something that has been circulating a lot lately, but has been a huge issue for a very long time, and that is the care of Black women in the health system. Now, for me, this hits home on a different level because I have personal experiences with my treatment and care within the health system, and I wanted to share that with you and just, create some dialogue on the topic. Like I said in my video on Instagram, it's about time that we get down to the nitty gritty. It's time we can talk about some serious issues. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Before I get started, make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe. I do not want you to miss a single post. So make sure that you click that notification bell right down there, so that you're notified every single time I post a new video. Okay? Awesome. So this, like I said, is a serious topic, and it took me a minute to kind of gather my thoughts and figure out how I wanted to go about talking about this. For me, I have been dealing with health issues basically my entire life. I was born a preemie. I had to stay in the hospital for a little while to get my weight up and get a little bit stronger. And then when I was about, I want to say maybe 8 or 9, I started having all different types of issues. I was having chest pains and just all types of things. And so I've literally been in and out of hospitals my entire life, unfortunately. So I've seen these things. I've seen how the healthcare system works and how it often fails, but particularly fails Black women and people of color in general. So with me, my health issues, like I said, began at an early age. I was dealing with everything from possible heart issues to later on in life at about 17, I started having these really odd and serious symptoms. I lost feeling on the whole left side of my body. I was having numbness in my legs and in my arms and in my hands. I was having and experiencing extreme migraines. And I remember one time being taken to the ER by ambulance because I think I was having a migraine and I was shaking. My body was just shaking. And I got to the hospital. I'm on the stretcher and they're bringing me into the ER area, and the nurse comes to the stretcher. She's checking me out and she looks at me for like all of less than 5 seconds and says, stop faking it, stop it, just stop. And in that moment, I was so baffled. I was so taken aback. Like and at the same time, I'm dealing with my body. So I couldn't even verbalize what to say to that. Like, you are a healthcare professional. How do you say that to a person you literally just laid eyes on? It's not like you had done a full examination of me or anything like that. I literally just been wheeled into the emergency room, and you come to me and that is the first thing that you say to me. How? So they pulled me into the room, and she comes into the room and she's checking me out and doing an evaluation, and I guess she finishes her evaluation and she continues to say that I'm faking it and that I need to stop, and I'm doing it for attention, all types of things. And at that moment, my heart was broken. My heart was broken because with all my health challenges, from a child, I've always wanted to be in the healthcare field because I've been that patient, I've been that kid, and I wanted to be able to do for others what at the time I felt like was being done for me, being helped and being taken care of. And that's what the healthcare system is, right? That's what doctors and nurses do. They help take care of people. And that's what I wanted to be a part of. But when I had that experience, it shattered me because it was like a light bulb went off that I don't really matter. And it wasn't the first, I mean, it was the first time, but it wouldn't be the last. And I experienced things like that on several occasions afterwards. And even with just my primary care physicians, I would go in and I would be trying to tell them about the things that I was experiencing, and they would brush me off. They would just be dismissive about it. They wouldn't really listen. They wouldn't write it down. They wouldn't take the time to try to figure it out. And I began feeling so helpless. And when you're going through something within your body and your body is doing all types of things that it normally doesn't do and that it shouldn't do, and you're in pain constantly, to have people that are supposed to help you not, and to dismiss you and ignore you and just make you feel as though it's something wrong with you as a person, or like it's your fault, that does something to you mentally. And I will be getting into the mental health aspect of this also in a minute. But it does something to you mentally, and it changes how you view the world, how you view people, how you view the people in positions that are supposed to be there to provide and protect you. I never really trusted doctors and stuff after that. I felt like, why? I don't matter to you, so why should I trust you enough to take care of me? And as I got older, I became more aware and had a little bit more knowledge of the world and the things that went on in the world. And I began noticing that it wasn't necessarily just me. It was people that looked like me, people that had this. And as unfortunate as it is to say, it's the truth. And I'm not here to make anyone comfortable. I am not here to pacify anyone. I am not here to stroke anyone's ego. That is just the honest truth from somebody who has experienced it firsthand and who still to this day experiences it. So that was my first incident, you can say. And I just didn't know how to take that. And it was heartbreaking that, okay, it wasn't just me. It was more people than me, which means that more people than just me aren't getting the care that they need, aren't getting the medical attention that they need. And it even went as far as when it would come time for medications and things like that, they would be skeptical as to my reasonings for coming in and making it seem as though I was just trying to get my hands on drugs and all types of stuff. Mind you, during my health issues within my later years, when I was about 17, I got put on so many medications. At one point, I was taking 14 pills a day. I'll sip on that. $14 pills a day. Now, let's just say, let's play devil's advocate for a minute. Let's just say that I was somebody who was just trying to get my hands on medications. I really had no need to, because it was being pushed down my throat on a daily basis. So, and if I did develop a addiction to prescription medications, whose fault would that be? Because there is no reason that you can't even tell me what is wrong with me. Like, I have yet to have any type of confirmative diagnosis. So you can't even tell me what's wrong with me. But you feel okay enough to prescribe me that many medications to take on a daily basis. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And that all culminated into, I wouldn't even say a paranoia, but it began to feel like I was trying to be killed. That's what it felt like, because these medications weren't doing anything. They weren't helping me. I wasn't getting better. In fact, I was getting worse. And I got to a doctor who wanted me to do steroid infusions to try to help with my pain and my my relapses. So I remember very vividly, I went in for my first steroid infusion, and you typically go to a dialysis center to get that done. And, you know, that you sit there, they put the IV in, they hang the medicine up, and you sit there while the infusion takes place. I sat down, she confirmed who I was, all that great stuff, and she went to get my medicine, and when she came back, she was flabbergasted. And I was like, you know, is everything okay? And she said, I've just never, ever in my life heard of or seen anyone be prescribed this amount of Solumedrol, that's what it was, for a patient your age and your size. I was prescribed 1,000 milligrams of Solumedrol for 4 days. They don't even make 1,000 milligrams of Solumedrol. She had to use multiple bags in order to get that dosage. So that, of course, had me like, this isn't right. And I felt helpless because I couldn't do anything but, well, I felt like I couldn't do anything but just take it. And I just had to deal with it. So I began the treatments, and when I tell you, I, no exaggeration, thought I was dying. The way my body felt, I didn't know if I was going or coming. I just want, like, I can't even explain it. My body just shut down, and I could barely function. And I had to do that for 4 days straight. Come second day, I'm like crawling into the place because my body was just not having it. And it turns out, I think I'm allergic to Solumedrol, or that dosage was absolutely too high, just like the dialysis tech said. But either way, it was one of the most horrifying experiences I've had with medication. There was another instance where I was on some type of medication. I can't remember what it was because I was on multiple again at that time. But I would be asleep and my mom would come and check on me, and she said that I would be foaming at the mouth. And I wasn't seizing or anything like that. I was just foaming at the mouth while I was asleep. I promised myself I would get through this without getting emotional. But it's hard because you have somebody that's supposed to be helping you and helping heal you, and you are getting worse. You're fading. Your life is fading, and no one cares. No one sees you. So I wouldn't wish that on anyone, but I know that so many of us deal with that. Either we are not allowed access to the proper treatments that we need, we are overprescribed medication, or we are treated completely less than and are disrespected and disregarded by these doctors and these nurses. And I unfortunately have experienced all of them. So with the physical health care field, I had no respect. I had none. And it happened for a reason, I believe. I believe everything happens for a reason. And I got to a place where I was like, okay, I am dying. I kid you not. I am dying. Mind you, when I first began getting sick, the doctors had told me that if I lost 5 more pounds, because I was losing weight drastically, I could not hold on to weight, and I was already small at that time. They told me that if I lost 5 more pounds, I would have to be put on death watch. So to fast forward, and I'm literally feeling like I'm dying. I look in the mirror, I look like a zombie. I knew that I had to do something. I couldn't wait for these doctors to get it together and treat me right and help me. I had to help myself. And I'm grateful for that, because that's when I got into holistic treatments. And I started studying and reading up about holistic medicines and things like that. And I literally healed myself. I took myself off of all the medications. I did do it properly. But I did it myself. And I started doing things more on a natural side. And I got better. Like now, I'm so much better. I'm basically healthy. And I don't think if I would have continued doing what those doctors were telling me and giving me, I'm truly convinced that I would be dead right now and I would not be talking to you. So I say that to say, if you are experiencing any kind of treatment like that within the healthcare field, I'm not telling you to go out and start, immediately treating yourself and doing things and all of that. But I want you to be your own advocate. I want you to develop your voice and feel comfortable and confident in speaking up for yourself. When you know that something isn't right, or the treatment that you're being given isn't right, or the way that you're being talked to isn't right, say something. Don't take it. Make sure you report it, because by not saying something, they count on that. They count on us being or feeling inferior to the point where we just don't question what they say and what they do, and we take it and we deal with it, because most likely we're in pain, we're struggling health-wise, and so all we want is to get better. But I encourage you to speak up and say something. We cannot stay silent anymore. It has become to the point where it is now killing us. The lack of treatment that we are receiving, the lack of help that we are receiving is killing us as a people. We cannot afford that. We cannot afford that. We have to start speaking up. We have to start speaking up for each other. I don't care if I know somebody or not. If I see somebody being disrespected, spoken to, or trying to be given or done something that I know for a fact isn't right, I'm not going to stay silent. I can't. Because that's what was done to me. And that led to the unnecessary things that I had to go through health-wise. I can't do that to another person. Yeah, you can say, oh, that's not my business, or that has nothing to do with me. But yes, it does have something to do with you. Why do we have to wait until it's ourselves, our significant others, our parents, our child? Why do we have to wait until it is directly affecting us for us to get enraged, for us to want to do something about it? It should not be like that. We should have each other's back because nobody else does. So we have to do that for each other. So I really want you to sit on that and to think about that, because people are literally dying because of these doctors and this healthcare system that does not give a damn about people like us. It has to stop. We have to hold these people accountable. We have to bring attention to this. This is life or death in its purest form. Purest. Don't wait until it's your life or your family member's life or your loved one's life at jeopardy. Please don't. So, take a moment to breathe, because this is really serious for me. And this is something that I'm very, very, very vocal and passionate about, because I've lived it. And I do not want anybody else to have to live this story. I do not want to hear anyone else have to say anything remotely similar to like the things that I have been through. I can't handle that within my spirit. I don't know about you guys. 1 second. I can't deal with that. So, let's talk about mental health. I want to start off talking about this by saying, within the Black community, mental health is still very, very taboo. It's looked at as something that is just wrong with you. Like, your spirit isn't right because you shouldn't be experiencing these things. And if you are, you need to go pray about it. You need to ask God to heal you and heal your mind. And that has and still is killing us. There's so many different factors. And the crazy part about it is it's being done in such a way that it's we're basically killing each other. We're killing ourselves because they convince us not to go to the doctors, and the treatment that we receive makes us not trust them, so that we don't go to the doctors when we really need to. And then we end up getting extremely ill or possibly dying. And then within the mental health sector of it, we don't trust those people to help us work through our issues. What do they know about what it's like to be Black in America, and all these different factors? But it's being twisted to the point where we are becoming our own destruction. And I am very, very serious and passionate about putting it into that. And I can do that, and you can do that through telling your stories, being honest about the things that you go through. Nobody is perfect. Nobody wakes up happy every single day and is just the best person in the world and the most clearest mind in the world. We all go through struggles. And when we go through those struggles, whatever they may be, it's our responsibility as a human being first to share those things with others, so that, one, people know that they're not alone. That's the most important thing. that people know that they are not alone. That two, by sharing our experiences and our struggles, most importantly, we allow someone to feel seen and heard. And by doing that, you're able to share with these people how you've overcome these things and the avenues and the resources that you have been exposed to and provided, and be able to pass that on to someone else. Each one help one. I mean, it sounds cliche, but it's so serious and it's so dire. And if we do not begin to do these things and get serious about doing these things, I don't even want to think about what our community will look like in 5 years. Forget 10, 20, no, 5 years. Because right now, Black women are at the highest risk when it comes to not getting treatment and help within the healthcare system, both mentally and physically. And that's unacceptable. Unacceptable. That's your mother. That's your sister. That's your best friend. That's your cousin. That's your girlfriend. That's your wife. We can't tolerate that. We have to get it together, and we get it together by getting each other together, by gathering around each other, supporting each other, loving each other, helping each other. Not for money, not for profit, not for anything else, but for the sake or for the fact that you are me. I am you. When I look at you, I see me. So therefore, if I was you, I would not want to be exposed to and treated the way you are. So I'm not going to let anyone do that to you. But back to the mental health sector of it. Like I said, within the Black community, it's very taboo, and we're told to pray it away and everything will be fine. But that's not the case. It's not. And that kind of rhetoric is what is also destroying us as a community within our own selves. A mental health condition is a chemical imbalance of the brain. You have certain chemicals within your body and within your brain, and they have to interact with each other in a certain way to create a healthy body, a healthy mind. When you have a illness of any kind, whether it be physical or mental, that means that something is off, something is missing, something isn't connecting the way that it needs to, something isn't putting out the way that it needs to, or coming in the way that it needs to. There's some kind of imbalance that cannot be corrected by praying it away. I'm sorry, it can't. And if you deter someone from getting medical help because you feel as though it's not right to go see a psychologist or a psychiatrist or whatever the case may be, you are basically killing that person. You are allowing that person to suffer unnecessarily instead of supporting them in their search of help. That is the best thing that you can do. That is the best thing that you can do, especially with mental health. All that the person wants to know is that they are loved, they are seen, and they are supported, and they are not alone. It's that simple. It's that simple. And we have to stop demonizing people with mental health issues as if they're these horrible people. It's not a choice you make. It's not. It's something in your body, in your brain that you have no control over. I don't understand why it's so hard to just offer help and support. It's as easy as that. But with Black women, when it comes to mental health, again, we are also seen as just chalked up to attitude problems or trying to get our hands on certain medications just to take them, and the list is endless, and it's hard for me to even think and process through this, because it takes me back to my own experiences. Now, I told you that I had my own experience with mental health as well, and I have been clinically diagnosed with a few things. I no longer claim those things. That's just as a result of my spiritual journey, but I have been clinically diagnosed with several things. But the thing that changed me within the mental health field of it is one day, again, I went to the hospital, but at this time I went on my own because I had been having severe chest pain and anxiety attacks, what felt like an anxiety attack, or palpitations for like 2 or 3 days straight. And I could not take it anymore. And I thought something may be wrong, like maybe it's my heart or something like that. And I just felt like I needed to go get checked out. So I went to the hospital, and I get into the room, and the doctor comes in, and he's evaluating me, asking me questions, things like that. And I guess because I mentioned that I felt like an anxiety attack, he was asking me mental health questions. So that was fine, no problem. I understand that. But where things went left is he asked if and this is exactly what he said initially. He asked if I had ever tried to commit suicide or been suicidal or had suicidal thoughts. I said, yes, I have attempted in the past. I do not have them right now or as of lately. That's exactly what I said. And there was a nurse with him as well, and she was doing the typing. So they leave out, and I'm figuring, okay, just wait, that's how it goes. We can go to the ER. Next thing I know, several people start coming into my room, and they begin removing everything from the room. Everything. And I'm so confused, and I'm asking what's going on, and nobody's saying anything to me. So then a woman comes up to the door. She puts a chair in front of the door, and she sits down. And so I'm asking, hey, what's going on? Like, I'm getting scared at this point because I have no clue what's happening. She is not really saying anything. So I tried to go out of the room to go to the nurse's station to ask a nurse what's happening. And the woman at the door basically tries to stop me. So now I feel threatened. I'm scared at this point. So I don't know. I have no clue what's happening to me, but I know that this is not right. So the woman at the door, I'm yelling back and forth with her, and she eventually just lets me go to the nurse's station. The nurse at the nurse's station was so rude and so foul. I was on the verge of tears, but I was angry at the same time. She was like, you should know what's going on. I mean, you told the doctor that you wanted to kill yourself. So they basically put you on a lockdown. What? I never said that. Never out my mouth did I say that I had any intention or feeling or thoughts of killing myself. Ever did I say that. So I'm like, I need to call my mom. I need to call somebody. I need a phone. And she wasn't trying to give me access to the phone. And I'm just, at this point, I'm enraged. I'm cutting up. I'm asking for supervisors. I'm going off because this is not right. I'm being held hostage for something I did not even say. So I call my mom and I let her know what's going on. She's flipping out. And then I go back into the room and I wait for the doctor to come back in. I'm trying to calm myself down so that I don't further my reason for coming in, which was feeling like I was having an anxiety attack and pain in my chest. I'm sorry, y'all. Feeling like I was having an anxiety attack and pain in my chest. So I'm trying to calm down. He eventually comes back in the room, and his demeanor is so like, what do you want? Because I had been asking to speak to him. It's like, what do you want? You know what's happening. You told me that you wanted to kill yourself. And again, I'm going off because I did not say that. So I can't remember the code for it. But it's basically when they feel like you are a harm to yourself or others, they put you on a lockdown. And at first I was like, okay, trying to rationalize this. I was like, okay, they put me on a lockdown. Somebody's gonna, come talk to me and realize that this was not what was being said, not what's happening. This isn't right, and everything will be fine. Why I still had faith in the system, I don't know, but I did. I was scared. So after that, the woman at the door says, you'll be leaving in about 30 minutes to an hour. I said, excuse me? Leaving where? I'm not going anywhere other than home. And she said, no, you're being taken to a behavioral health center, a psych ward otherwise. I broke down in tears. I could not even talk. I could not function because I could not believe that this was happening to me. I could not believe that I came into this place to get help because I was in pain. And it has turned into me being admitted into a psych ward against my will, involuntarily. What do you say to that? What? And it's my word against the doctors. We know how that goes. So the transport team arrives. They come and get me. At this point, it's late at night. And they have to strap you down. The transport team has to strap you down during transport for your safety and theirs. So I'm strapped down to the stretcher in the back of this ambulance, going to I don't know where. And for a person who does suffer with mental health issues, to be put in that kind of situation, you have no idea where you're going. You're being taken against your will. You're being held against your will. You're strapped down to a stretcher. How does that not cause further damage mentally? And how is it okay to do that to someone? I don't understand it till this day. And that was 6 years ago. I don't understand it. But I arrive at the place. They basically force me to do the admissions process. And they take me back. They put me in a room. They take all of my my clothes, because the clothes I had on had like strings, and to take my shoes, all of that stuff, take everything. And they put me in a room and said, go to sleep, we'll talk to you in the morning. I cried that entire night. I was so scared. My mother did not know where I was. Last time she had heard from me, I was just being held at the hospital. I was terrified. And having heard stories about, psych wards and stuff like that, I did not know what to expect. That was one of the most terrifying experiences of my life. Though it turned out to be a beautiful experience, just from the people that I've met, it was still terrifying. And this hold that they place you on is a 72-hour hold. That's what they tell you. But I was forced to stay for over a week. Yeah, I can't even talk about that. It was terrifying. And I've had these experiences personally. That's why I'm so passionate about it and I'm so emotional about it, because this isn't something that's outside of me, that I'm just watching on the news or reading an article about. No, this has been my life. This has been what I've lived. I've seen it. I see it. So no, I can't stay quiet about it. I don't care what happens to me. I don't care who threatens me. I don't care. I can't stay silent about this, and nor should you.
My glamour